Yeah, so yes, there a lot of stuff was going on, but it took me a little bit again to think about what about Wednesday's song was worth chatting about to help you guys with your songwriting. And I guess the first thing is the inspiration was specifically let's try to write a simple song. Like a few of my songs at the time, I was shucking too many chords in, trying to be different, trying to make my songs sound. Even when I was writing blues, I was trying to use different chords, like break out of the formula. And I was like, I don't need to. Just play it straight. Just do something simple. So I deliberately went real simple and just the one riff. That's the A section. If you don't know what that is, there's a tradition in poetry first where you have chunks of a piece assigned an alphanumerical code to let you know which parts are repeating when you're analysing it. So you might say the first four lines are an A section because of their rhyming scheme, and then the next four lines are a B section. And that happens in music as well. So in this case, we've got, rather than kind of verse chorus, but it's like 2 lines of the A section, then 4 lines of the B section, then 2 lines and 4 lines, and then a bit of a lead break that's a bit of both, and then the same thing again. So that's pretty repetitive, not a lot of changing, just 2 kind of very similar riffs. Here's the second riff. Pretty similar to the first one. So how do you take a song that's really simple and still make it interesting? That's the challenge. So there's all these different elements of music that you can try to use. The most obvious thing that people do to try to make music interesting when the underlying form is simple, chords are simple, is texture. So like in electronic music, modern pop music, you might just have a 4-chord loop, a simple chord loop, but you have different percussion sounds coming in, different tones of the bass, strings sounding like things coming over the top, and parts coming in and out to create this sense of change. I'm not really doing that with this. What am I doing to try to make this song seem interesting? It's just guitar and voice. Slight variations on the riff, slight variations on the rhythm, mainly relying on tone of voice. So I'm doing a lot of, and matching the guitar and the vocals, but almost, but not quite. So lots of bends on the guitar and doing similar things with voice. Try myself, it's like really locking in, changing the octave that I'm singing in, like I'm using my lower register early on, and then I go up high later on to create a change there, and volume changes as well. So those kind of things, like really just straightforward changes that you can make to help push the story forward. And that's it. That's what, again, going to that Little Pigs thing, that combination of making something familiar enough that the audience relates to it, and then different enough that they feel excited by it. That's basically the sweet spot of all storytelling, and that's why using forms, like common ways that songs are put together, can be really useful, because that makes the audience feel comfortable and automatically creates that sense of familiarity. And then if you just mess with something a little bit, make a small change, then that's the surprise. One of the things, so if we talk about song format, the most common, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Maybe there's a solo in there, maybe the solo acts as the bridge. But generally, I like to say that the verse is the story, the chorus is the emotion, how the character in the story feels about it, and then the second verse contains more story, and then you get the repetition of the emotion, maybe with a slight change, like because you might look back in the past or be moving forward, or maybe there was just a different incident that caused a similar reaction in the protagonist of the song. And then the bridge is often either a reflection or some more context. There might be a flashback, or it might be a new event that's happened to give the song, the narrator or the character in the song, a new perspective. And so the final chorus might be even though the words haven't changed, the emotion might feel stronger because of this new context given by the bridge. So if you think about that, what story you're telling, what's your core emotion, and that becomes the chorus, and what bits of information will help the audience to connect to it, make it feel familiar, but also make it interesting, slightly different. All songs are like that, no matter how simple. Doesn't matter if the chord's got one chord or 17 like David Bowie. Anyway, chords, riffs, structure. We'll keep talking about these as we go on. Boop.